Hello and welcome to the National League Rugby Review Show, Round 23 highlights. Well, there's only one place to start this weekend, and that's by congratulating both Blackheath and Leicester Lions on their respective promotions to National 1. After relegation from the third tier last year, James Shanahan's Blackheath have bounced back at the first attempt, whilst the first ever National 2 title for Leicester Lions means they've created history by clinching promotion to the third tier for the first ever time. So with 2 titles wrapped up on the final weekend of March, there's still the biggest prize in National League Rugby to play for, and that's promotion from National 1 to the Championship, and that's where our focus is this week. Title challengers Cambridge began the weekend 9 points behind league leaders Rams RFC, but with a game in hand. Richie Williams' side were back in action after a 2-week break and were looking to stretch their excellent winning run to 6 matches. However, a trip to Chinnor presented one of their trickiest obstacles between now and the end of the season. Nick Easter's men have put a forgettable February behind them and entered round 23 on the back of 3 successive bonus point wins. Despite safety being all but secured, the Black and Whites were looking for a full house in March, but could Cambridge pass the test in Oxfordshire? So amongst the sunshine, the wind and the rain, it is Cambridge to get us underway here at Kingsley Road. What is in store this afternoon for the title challengers? And now it's Ryan with the carry for Chinnor, putting Cambridge under a bit of early pressure, using these weather conditions to their advantage. It now goes through the hands out towards Jason Worrell. Worrell's got Tarrant to beat, and Worrell does beat him to score the opening try. And Cambridge continuing now to pound at the Chinnor door. The home side have defended it superbly for the majority of this first half, but they're rumbling forward now, and it's the usual suspect, Ben Brownlee. Steph James with the conversion, and Cambridge lead for the first time this afternoon. And now it's prize for Chinnor, who started his second half pretty strongly, but his pass is well read by Steph James, who's into Joe Green. Now he's looking to hit the diagonal. It's the winger. That's a great offload from Green. And now it's Steph James who's going to charge to the corner. The first real bit of quality comes from Cambridge, and they deliver. Into the final 10 minutes here at Kingsley Road. It's been an absolute arm wrestle of the second half, but Cambridge looking to try and add to their tally here. Here's the dangerous Asiedu. Looks like to go alone, decides to pass instead. Whether that's the right choice or not, we'll have to find out. It's a strong carry that by Ben Brownlee to keep Cambridge on the front foot. James as well to carry on with the ball. Hemmer now into Bretard Norris. Good pass to Kieran Frost, who carries. This is really good play from the Blood and Stand. They're still going inside with Hemmer. Hemmer back into the middle to Bretard Norris. They're going very close here now on Richie Williams' side. And Seb Brownhill, is he going to get over? He does get over. What a score that is for Cambridge. We've got left now probably 6 minutes or so. 3 tries now for Cambridge. The conversion's good. Can they get the bonus point try? The Blood and Sand looked as though they would get all 5 points at Kingsley Road, but an adjudged forward pass denied them that opportunity. However, Chinnor's character and determination was rewarded as Jack Walsh and then a brilliant interception try from Grant Hughes secured the host a losing bonus point. But in the end, it was Cambridge who came away with the victory.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, Chris, that we came away with the win. I thought that, the opening 20 minutes we probably didn't score enough points. I thought Chinnor defended really well in that opening quarter. We were a little bit wasteful at times. There were 2 sort of clear-cut opportunities where we lost a little bit of composure and didn't score, and we made it very difficult on ourselves playing into that wind in the second half to score another 3 tries. But look, we got a win. In an ideal world, we get 5 points today to keep the pressure on the teams above us, but in seasons gone by, we would have lost that game. So it's another win. We've got 4 games left. We've got a game in hand over both Sale, and Rams, who are above us, and we'll build on that performance today. Sometimes there's a temptation to look really hard at Rams and who they're playing, but ultimately that's out of our hands. We can't control how they're going to play, how many points they're going to get. But I think for us, our focus is firmly on what we do week to week. Starting with Leeds next week. If we lose any games before that last game against Moseley, then we're not going to be in a chance. But our objective remains the same. We want to be fighting at the top of National 1. There's a lot of rugby yet to be played, and we'll go again next Saturday.
Maybe one eye or a Twitter feed on what happens at Sale versus Rams, or
yeah, that's going to be a massive game next week. It's a must win for Sale. I think both teams got bonus point wins today by the looks of things, so that's going to be a mouth-watering clash up in Manchester next week. But we need to do our job.
Conditions weren't conducive to running rugby, were they? And it was always going to be a physical battle and a forwards battle against Cambridge. And as you say, it was an arm wrestle, pretty even Stevens really going in, and with 15, 20 minutes to go, it's just, one error, one turnover, and they exploited it in transition. And, that's usually when sides are at the top, it's the ones that are a little bit more clinical with those chances, because, look, we had opportunities down in the 22. They had opportunities in the 22. It took them 20 minutes to score a try when we couldn't get out of our 30. So it wasn't a case of they were clinical every time, but when it mattered, they took that opportunity, and then it just took the game a little bit away from us. But look, tremendous character and fight and some heroic defence. I think we must have had 30% possession throughout, and then to score that try at the end after missing a kick to get the bonus point, that's big, because we definitely deserve something out of that game. And look, the last few weeks has been brilliant. We've had a number of halves where we nilled the opposition, and the attitude and not only that, the buy-in, and certainly in terms of the system and the trust there is excellent. We've just got to be a little bit better, a little bit more clinical when we do have the ball, and not give it away after working so hard without it. Not as easily, I would say, but just a bit smarter from a decision-making point of view. But at the end of the day, it's all growth in the team. I've been here 3 months, and you've got to take baby steps to begin with. Just makes it a great place to come and work, really, to be honest with you. And to have the support of all the teams, and the success of all the teams. You had the women's, the Wild Boys, you had the youth here as well, and now the first team are getting their act together. It's it's in positive spirits.
Let's begin the rest of our roundup in National 1, and we begin at the Rock, where 4 plays Roslyn Park entertain Plymouth Albion.
On paper, Roslyn Park's meeting with Plymouth Albion looked like it would be a cracker, and that proved to be the case at the Rock. The game was level at the break, with both sides going over on 3 occasions, as Angus Hodges and Harry Wilkinson notched tries for the visitors, while Benji Marfo, Henry Robinson and Josh Amadi scored for Park. The battle between 4th and 5th continued to ebb and flow as Plymouth moved into a 32-31 lead, but Park capitalised on 2 yellow cards and were able to seal the win, thanks to tries from Amadi and Seb Strang. Rams had 2 weeks to stew on their loss to Plymouth Albion, but the first 40 minutes against Taunton Titans was a clear sign of the tabletoppers unleashing a reaction. The hosts wrapped up the bonus point before the break, with Andrew Humberston, Axel Calling-Smith, James McRae and Jack Rossiter all going over. Taunton did respond with 3 tries after half-time via Alex Rodd, Nick Mason and Charlie Wright, but 5 further scores from the league leaders saw them return to winning ways in style. April might be just around the corner, but would Sale FC have a spring in their step heading into the mouth-watering clash with title rivals Rams RFC this coming weekend? The answer would eventually be yes, but Jonathan Keep's men found themselves 10-7 down at the break against Darlington Modem Park after Ben Franklin's score. DMP's penalty count, though, allowed Sale to turn things in their favour as Nev Edwards, Josh Brown, Andy Hughes and then Dan Birchall all went over to wrap up the maximum and a 6th straight win. At this stage of the season, mid-table battles can be seen as dead rubbers, but not in the case of Bishop Stortford's meeting with Cinderford. The Foresters raced into an 8-point lead thanks to the brilliance of Mike Austin, but Josh Stannard hit back for Stortford before the half-time Oranges. After the interval, the hosts had to hold off some Cinderford pressure, and their defensive efforts would be rewarded with 2 tries from skipper James Ayrton. The away side were able to set up a tense finale at Silverlees thanks to 2 scores from Rhys Dunn, but Stortford held on to move up to 5th. Suffering relegation before the end of the season sometimes means teams will down tools, but that statement can't be levelled at Hull, who came so close to securing their first win of the campaign against Esher. The Yorkshire outfit led 16-12 at half-time, with Rhys Dean helping himself to a try, while Esher responded via Harry Lang. Ben Atkins and Mike Adlard then swapped scores, but Afolabi Falsag Bond's effort made it 24-23 to Esher. It then became the tale of 2 penalties, as Dean's nudge took Hull ahead, only for Esher's Sam Morley to break their hearts with a last-gasp kick to snatch a massive bonus point win for the E's. So near, yet so far. That's probably the story of Leeds Tykes' campaign, and John Callard's side experienced the same frustrating narrative away at Birmingham Moseley. Tries from Charlie Venables and Kieran Davies were cancelled out by the excellent Freddie Painter and Ryan Roach before Dan Lewis nudged the hosts ahead. But with 8 minutes to go, Leeds had the lead after Harry Dukes had crossed, but 21-17 down, the home side turned it around as tries from Painter and Lewis secured a pivotal win for Moseley and left the Tykes' survival hopes hanging by a thread. For the first time since the beginning of the month, we had a full feast of fixtures in National 1 with the final knockings of the season now firmly underway. Bonus point wins for both Rams and Sale FC means this coming weekend's clash between the top two is beautifully poised, while Cambridge's gritty victory at Chinnor means they're 10 points off the top with a game in hand. Down at the bottom, Leeds Tykes sit on the brink of relegation following their latest defeat, and their fate could be sealed next weekend if results don't go their way. Esher's dramatic late win over Hull lifts them out of the bottom three at the expense of Taunton, while back-to-back successes for Birmingham Moseley leaves them all but safe.
Let's go over to National 2 North now, and after seeing table toppers Sedgley Park extend their lead to 12 points last weekend, could second place Fylde respond when they hosted Sheffield? Fylde were looking to hunt down Sedgley Park, but had to overcome the challengers Sheffield, who rolled into town this week. And despite picking up 4 yellow cards against the men from the Steel City on Saturday afternoon, Fylde still got the job done at Woodlands. They were 14 up at half-time with Toby Harrison getting a brace, and while there would be some fleeting moments of hope for Sheffield, with 2 tries in the second half from David Claydon and Callum Poser, Tom Carter put the game on ice with a minute to go. A Yorkshire derby is up next, with Sheffield Tigers visiting Wharfdale. Rob Baldwin's 300th game for the hosts ended up being an error-stricken grudge match between the two teams at the Avenue, attributing to the low scoreline. While Ryan Holmes scored the afternoon's only try, Mark Island missed 2 penalties, which would have made things more comfortable for the away side. However, his trusty boot did prove to be enough to guide the Tigers to a 3rd straight win, while Tom Davison and Tom Mann replied for the hosts from the tee. If there was ever a time to use the tale of two halves cliche, it is now. Rotherham dominated the scoreboard 22-0 in the opening period at Clifton Lane, with Tomesai Tununi's trip over the try line securing their bonus point. Ortley dragged themselves back into this contest though, with 2 tries in 3 minutes from Clark Wells and Gavin Stead, but 2 penalties from Lloyd Hayes, either side of Sam Waddington's score, sealed back-to-back wins for the Titans for the first time since November. Blaydon may be destined for level 5, but the North East outfit still showed that they can graft hard for a win. A brace from Nathan Greenwood and a canter in from the 22 by Ben Douglas helped the hosts keep the scoreboard ticking over. But the scrum halves' concentration dropped just before half-time, allowing Chester's Gethin Long to intercept and score unopposed. John Craven did go over for the away side, but a score from Chedida Obona and 5 points from the booted John Clarkson wrapped up the win for the Blaydon boys. We're at the business end of the season, and Preston entered the weekend knowing if they matched or bettered Harrogate's result, they would secure their safety in National 2 North. 3 wins from the last 4 games for the Hoppers had put themselves in a strong position, and they were 26-7 up at Bransington Park with Tom Lee at the double. But Hull Ionians produced a storming comeback with Lewis Minikin at the heart of it, as he scored 2 converted tries before George Mewburn's late effort denied Preston the full 5 points, meaning they had to settle for 2 in Yorkshire. National 1 Rugby is seemingly becoming more and more of a possibility for Sedgley Park, who were taking another step forward in this promotion battle. After their loss to Tynedale, Sedge bounced back last week away at Hull Ionians and backed it up with another solid performance against Huddersfield. A hat-trick for Adam Mallinson and 2 for Andy Riley made it 31-0 before the hour. Ethan Myers and Rob Jennings did respond for Huddersfield, but Riley also became a hat-trick hero, having been denied earlier in the match to keep the Tigers 12 points clear. Finally, we're at Rudding Lane as Harrogate hosted Tynedale. After Preston only managed 2 points away at Hull Ionians, a victory over the North East side would keep Harrogate's survival hopes afloat for at least another week. The only score in the first half came from Tynes' Alex Dryden, and approaching the hour in Yorkshire, the away side led 7-5. However, Dryden's second and 1 for James Telford was a hammer blow to Harrogate, and it left the host with a mountain to climb. The home side kept fighting, but Seamus Hutton's score at the death sealed their relegation. We are another step closer to closing the book on the 2022-23 season in National 2 North, with just one final scenario left to play out. That is of course the title race, as both Sedgley Park and Fylde collecting maximums in round 23, meaning the gap stays at 12, but the Lancashire outfit still have a game in hand to come. At the bottom, Harrogate's fate was confirmed this weekend, meaning Preston will be playing their trade in this league next season, largely thanks to their impressive recent run of form. National 2 East is our next stop, and an informed Barnside were looking to continue their excellent sequence of results when they visited 5th place Bury St Edmunds.
Barnes entered round 23 having won their last 5 matches, and the second place side were determined to keep that run going away to Bury St Edmunds. But for the second week on the trot, they had to secure the victory with 14 men. Having led 13-7 thanks to scores from Ethan Harbinson and Cam Roberts, Louis Kirkham saw red before half-time. Bury capitalised on the extra man as Mike Stanway raced over, but like last weekend, Barnes managed the numerical disadvantage well as Jordan Suter and Connor Cross dotted down to clinch their latest triumph. The next 4 matches focus on the relegation fight, and we start with Rochford 100's trip to Guernsey Raiders. Rochford began the afternoon 1 point above the drop zone, but found themselves 19-7 up thanks to the help of Kaylee Gray and Charlie Owens. Guernsey hit back in some style, scoring 4 tries of their own to lead 29-19, but the away side were able to secure a bonus point when Ewan Richmond crossed. However, the Raiders found the answers once again, and despite having Ethan Smith sent off late on, Callum Roberts, Jordan Smiler and Luke Sayer all went over to conclude an entertaining contest. Next, we head to Henley, where Sevenoaks were the visitors to Dry Lees. 6 defeats in a row for Adam Bowman's side has kept them in this relegation scrap, and 3 yellow cards in this contest didn't help their cause. Ewan Fenley and Callie Cookland profited for the Hawks in the first half, but it was roles reversed at the start of the second period. Sevenoaks capitalised on some Henley indiscipline as Jane Simmons and Ben Manelli crossed, but the hosts would deny their guests any bonus points as George Wood darted over to seal the deal for the home side. North Walsham came into this weekend as the team currently in the final relegation place, and yet again their fight and determination was on display against Dorking. The Vikings led by 9 points at the break after scoring on 3 occasions. However, 6 unanswered tries from the visitors in the second period turned this contest around. The ever-present Toby McRae helped himself to 4 tries across the afternoon, while Fred Dalton and Finn Osborne also got in on the act. North Walsham's next fixture comes away at Sevenoaks, which could be crucial in their fight to stay in this league. Canterbury might not necessarily be in the thick of this battle for survival, but the City men remain 8 points clear of danger after this loss at Old Albanian. The visitors were 28-7 behind due to scores from Jared Sage, Nathan Michelot, Jordan Evans and Mike Bond, and Canterbury were also down to 14 men when Sam Rogers was yellow-carded. But Matt Corker's men dug in, and 2 scores from Will Young pulled them right back into this contest. The away side were then looking to rescue a draw, but a mistimed pass led to Sage pouncing on the ball to clinch the win for OAs. When Tunbridge Juddians and Worthing Raiders met back in November, they shared 12 tries between them, and their latest clash provided more drama. But this time, it was in the form of 2 red cards, as both sides had one of their respective locks sent off in the first half. The visitors were able to edge the opening 40 though, and led 12-7 following scores from Harrison Sims and Dan Sargent. However, TJs took control in the second period as Ryan Manelli and Tom White crossed before Tommy Nicol sealed all 5 points for the hosts. And last, but certainly not least, we see newly crowned champions Blackheath as they visited Westcliff. James Shanahan's side knew a bonus point win would secure an immediate return to National 1, and they completed the job in a ruthless fashion. 3 tries in the opening 7 minutes from Jake Lloyd and Freddie Owen set them on their way, but a spirited Westcliff did respond following an excellent score from Jimmy Ray. But Andy Denham and Lloyd were able to cross ahead of half-time, the latter completing his hat-trick, and then the visitors raced clear to score 49 unanswered points. Jake Hennessy claimed 3, while Nick Foster, Lloyd, Alex Harris, Tom Straddick and Denham also joined the party, as Blackheath deservedly romped to the title.
I think we're back to where we actually deserve to be. I think it was a really tough season for everyone involved last year. We had to rebuild. We called this whole season the renaissance of Blackheath Rugby. I feel like we've achieved that. With a couple of losses along the way, we've still got 3 games to go. Want to make sure we win them and end on a high. But blimey, that was a really good win to finish off on, I have to admit. And with 3 games to go, it gives us a bit of comfort.
The final weekend of March saw the promotion race in National 2 East come to a conclusion. But as we head into April, the fight for survival rages on. Blackheath have been crowned champions, while the battle for the silver medal spot might be something to keep an eye on over the remaining 3 games. At the other end of the table, Rochford's bonus point at Guernsey means they're now 2 points clear of the drop. But as highlighted earlier on, North Walsham still have to play Sevenoaks. Interestingly, they also face the aforementioned Rochford and Canterbury, so there's still plenty to play for.
And there's only one place to start in National 2 West, and that is at Wesley Park, where champions-elect Leicester Lions hosted Loughborough Students. The champagne may well have been on ice at Wesley Park, but Leicester Lions knew they had a job to do against Loughborough Students before any corks were to be popped. Gareth Collins' side got off to a neat and tidy start in the Midlands and led 14-0 as Ollie Taylor and Nick Cairn scored before the Students hit back via Callum Smith. But the Lions weren't phased as history beckoned. Scores from Devon Constant, Cairns and Dan Martin sealed the deal for the hosts as the club confirmed they'll be playing in National 1 for the first ever time next season.
Obviously absolutely delighted to win the league in front of our home supporters. The reality was we had 4 opportunities, but we were desperate to win this week at the first chance. Loughborough, a really good side, always going to challenge us. We had a very clear game plan that I thought the boys stuck to really well, and yeah, the pressure of the occasion could have got to us, which it didn't. So credit to the boys, and this has been 4 years in the making, a lot of hard work from everybody involved in the club. So yeah, we're just going to enjoy it now.
While the title was being decided in Leicester, over in the West Midlands, Stylebridge were looking to avoid relegation against Bourneville. Tries from Owen Williams and Sam Grimshaw helped the hosts into a 17-7 lead, but a brace from Jack Lee on his 150th appearance for Stour put the away side ahead. However, 12 points from Max Craven, including a converted try, was a hammer blow to Stour's chances, and despite Neil Mitchell's side fighting back to earn 2 points, their 2 decades in National League Rugby have come to an end. After snatching a win right at the death against Luctonians last week, all Redcliffians were able to save a late draw against Exeter University in round 23. All Reds led 19-14 as scores from Jonathan Cook, Sam Rees and Jalen Curry outweighed efforts from Harry Hocking and Ronan Kelly. Hocking's second and a nice score via Ed Volley put Exeter ahead, but last week's hero Dom Sprague looked to be the man of the moment again as he touched down with the clock in the red. However, the hosts' conversion was dramatically charged down, so the spoils were shared. For this weekend, Hornets looked as though they were on the cusp of safety, and 2 bonus points from their trip to Dean's Crusaders means they've all but confirmed their spot in this division for next season. The hosts, who were looking for their 6th win from their last 7 matches, led 24-10 in the break thanks to a double from Tom Knight and scores from Will Thompson and Joe Hawksby. A second for Thompson did stretch Stings' lead, but Hornets fought back well as Courtney Harris and Aidan Chenoweth secured the bonus points. It was a battle of 5th versus 4th at Mortimer Park, and it was host Luctonians who moved into the top 4 with this excellent win. Ryan Watkins' boys had the bonus point in the bag by half-time, as Charlie Grimes, Aidan Cheshire, Rob Bengery and Matt Hackley all crossed, while Callum Dacey responded for Hinckley. Ben Link and Grimes also went over in the second period to rubber stamp the win for Luctonians, who've had a fine 2022-23 campaign, and now the Herefordshire side will be looking to end strongly. With Bourneville taking another step away from the bottom 2 in National 2 West, relegation threatened Barnstaple were looking to reel them in. They hosted Redruth at Pottington Road in round 23 and were 10-5 down at half-time as Adam Hall and Tommy Phillips cancelled out Ben Hilton's score. Dan Roberts made it a 1-point game with Barnstaple's second of the afternoon, but Owen Wildgoose's try just before the hour proved to be enough for Redruth, while the home side picked up a losing bonus point. As Barnstaple continue their quest for safety, the same cannot be said for Newport Salop, who put their place in National 2 West for next season despite losing to second place Clifton. The Lavender and Black seem determined to end another brilliant season on the front foot as they clinched a bonus point heading into half-time. However, scores either side of the break from Charlie Gamble and Finley Barnes cut Clifton's lead to 26-24, but Blake Boylan's score kept the away side in front. But with 1 bonus in the bag, Newport went in search of another and claimed it through George Castledine. 55 tries were scored across round 23 in National 2 West, with the penultimate month of the term now at an end. Confirmation then of Leicester Lions' promotion to National 1 following 17 successive wins, while a Battle of Bristol is on the cards for second place. At the bottom, one of the mainstays of National League Rugby are no more, as Stourbridge have been relegated from Level 4. Bourneville's third win from the last 4 matches means they are now 9 points clear of the drop with a game in hand, but Barnstaple are certainly not throwing in the towel just yet. Well, that's it here from Kingsley Road, and whilst the varsity match was taking place at Twickenham, Cambridge passed this particular test in Oxfordshire to keep their title dreams alive. We'll see you next week.